Hey guys and gals, this is Eric from MTG808Junior, here to help you out with making a new deck. So this is going to be a part of a series I'm going to make, just trying to show you guys how people usually try and brew and create new decks, because I've come to learn that it's really hard for some kids at least, to build their own deck since they aren't really sure what tools they need to use or how to find the best cards or which cards are good for their deck, that kind of stuff. Or like how to make consistent decks. So here I'm gonna just be here to make a couple episodes and show you the right, well, not the right ways, but some tools to put you on the right track for making a good deck. So one thing that I've seen people use is Gatherer. This is the official Magic the Gathering official Magic the Gathering website that shows all of the different cards that are printed. But as you can see, there's so many different choices that you have, and it can be daunting at first. And not only that, honestly, Gatherer isn't very that intuitive and helpful when you're trying to search up cards. So what people usually recommend is this website called Skyfall. So if you search up Skyfall.com, you will go to this page. And basically, if you search up any card or text, it'll try and show the closest thing possible. So, for example, I want to search up Destroy. It will show... Oh, no cards. Let's try and find another one. If you search it up this way, it will only search up cards' names. So there's no card called Destroy. But if I search up Wheel, it'll show all of the cards that have the word Wheel in it. So for us, this isn't all that helpful because sure, you see all the Wheel cards, but these aren't really in any order that makes sense to us. It's an alphabetical. But these are from older sets, Theros, Kaladesh, some are commander sets. So these aren't even playable in our format, Artisan, standard Artisan. So what we need to do is go to Advanced. Advanced search is on the top right. So if you click that, it'll bring you to this. And honestly, this looks a lot more intuitive than this, with all of these choices. I'm gonna go through each and every thing that you can search up, so it's easier to show you how to get through it. First thing, if you're doing standard Artisan, you're going to scroll down until you see formats. Okay? And it's going to be legal, so we're gonna find cards that are legal in the standard format. Okay, so now we have cards that are legal, but for Artisan, it's only the commons and uncommons. So down here, we are going to see rarity. We are only going to find the common and uncommon rarities of cards. So with these two choices, format and rarity, this will show all of the cards that are legal in most of the cards are legal in Artisan, because this doesn't include the banned cards in Artisan. Because if you can see here, if I just click standard, it will not show you an Artisan format because that's not supported by Wizards in competitive formats. So one more thing, during spoiler season, technically cards that are in spoiler season, they are not legal in standard yet because they are not distributed. So if you want to try and search for cards that aren't or that are being printed, you go to Future Standard, because Future Standard are all of the cards that are going to be printed, and if it's going to rotate, it takes that into consideration and removes all of the cards that will be rotated out. So during the fall set, Zendikar Rising, you would, during spoiler season, if you want to create a deck, you pick Future Standard, because it will take out all of the rotated cards from the Ravnica block and M20. So we got this down. legal in standard, and commons and uncommons. So the next thing I want to point you to is the colors and commander. So you would think that if, for example, in this tutorial, I'm going to try and build a red-green deck. You would think if I pick red and green, it would search up all of the red-green cards. But if I do that, it only shows all of the cards that are Gruul, or red and green. And the reason for that is if you pick color, there's a little search, or there's a little drop down here that gives you choices. This one says exactly these colors. So that means it has all of the cards that are shown have to be both colors at the minimum. There's including these colors, which just means if you click it, the cards that you pick at minimum have red and green. So it could be red, green, black, or red, green, blue, but at minimum they need to be that color. The last one is at most of these colors. And that just means, if we click on it, it can be any card that has these colors. So it excludes any other colors. So for example, if you look here, it shows a red card, a green card, and a red-green card. It also shows colorless cards too, because lands are colorless, and if I scroll up, it also shows artifacts. So this would most likely be the choice, or what choices you would pick. So you go to colors, choose the colors you want, and choose at most these colors when you click on the drop down. If that's too much work, alternatively, you go to commander. I don't really need to explain commander because that's a whole different story. But basically, if you want to build a deck with certain colors, you pick the colors you want. So I want to see cards in red, or blue, black, and red. And then I'll pick search. And when I pick search, it shows all of the cards that are in that, at minimum, that color, and excludes all of the colors. So you have the choice between colors, going to colors and picking at most these colors, or just clicking the colors you want on commander. The next important thing is text. So the text parameter shows anything that is inside of the text box or the square on the bottom. So if I want to build a Gruul aggro deck, I want really big creatures with trample. So I'm going to search up the word trample. So now it's going to find every instance of the word trample inside of the text. And if we press search, we have Bushwog, trample, which is a creature. We have all of these creatures with trample. But not only that, it shows like instants and sorceries and enchantments. So as long as it has the word trample in its text box. So Bargain is an instant that gives a target creature +2/+2, but the non-humans gain trample. Or, let's see, go down, no, go up. Ferocity of the Wilds is an enchantment that gives non-creatures trample. But as long as it contains the words that you want, then it will find it. Alternatively, you can search up words like target creature. So now it's going to find things that target creatures. So all of these spells target a creature. And honestly, this goes very, very, very in depth. So it could be draw a card or lose life. Honestly, if you want to try and find it, text is really important. If you want very specific things, like tapping a permanent to do things, or untapping, or things that have to do with colors, like the color symbols. You go to add symbol and you add it here. You try and find it here. So let's think of something. I want a card that produces mana, a creature. So I'm thinking of one that produces green. So I want to search up add green, but if I type green, it's not going to be green mana. So I'm going to click on add symbol and look for one green mana, and it's here. So if I do this, it'll search up all of the creatures that make one green mana. Oh, I guess not all creatures, because it also shows lands. It says that these lands tap for mana. Let's see. Lands. This creature adds green and blue. This one adds green. Yeah, so they're all basically mana producing creatures. So you can basically search anything you want in the text box, but you kind of need to figure out how the add symbol works. The final thing, besides card name, card name is kind of intuitive, but this is the final most important part. The most important part is, there's a couple more. Typeline. So if you want to search up a specific instant or a specific type of card, so for example, instants and sorceries, you are going to go on Typeline right here and write which one you want. So instant shows instant. You're going to click it and it says is instant. So you're looking for cards that are instant cards. And you can keep going with this if you want. You can say it is an instant or sorcery, and it will search up cards that are instants or sorceries. We just give it a bit. Sorry, instants and sorceries. So in this case, you see instant. These cards are both instants and sorceries. So if you choose partial type matches, we're going to click search. If you do that, it will search up everything that has those requirements. So in this case, it shows cards that are either an instant or sorcery. It shows this card, which is an adventure card, because adventure cards have sorceries. So if you want to search up multiple things, you go and press the allow partial type match on the checkbox. And remember, this isn't only card types, like instant, sorcery, creature, all that kind of stuff. If you wanted to search up legendary, it does super types, so legendary. If you want to do card type or like creature types, so dog, it will search up dog. So anything in the middle rectangle, it will try and find your match. If you're looking for specific mana costs, so if I want to find cards that are like green and a colorless, you're going to go to mana cost and you're going to find G, and then it'd be green and one generic. So it'd look like this, G1. You're going to have to go on the plus symbols, click on it, and try and find the one you want. So in this case, I'm only looking for cards that are either, or that are green, that cost green 1. So if I press search, all of these cards have at least green 1 in them. So it helps break down what I'm trying to find. If I want to find cards that are green, so the requirement is it's two green mana, I'm going to go green. And now it shows all of the cards that have at least 2 green mana symbols in their cost. finally, if you want to search up exact mana cost, so the card must have the specific mana. You need to combine the two brackets together, the two swirly brackets. So swirly bracket, I want to look for one green one. So swirly bracket G1 and then close it. This will search for all green one mana symbols. But it has to be exactly that. No, wait. That's not how it works. I guess I'm learning too. Let's see. Come on. Oh, sure. CNC. Let me just check. No? Sure. Okay, so last thing is stats. So if you want to find cards that are like a certain power or certain number, so either have a certain converted mana cost, power, toughness, or loyalty, you choose the stat here. So let's say I want to find really cheap cards that cost like a low amount. We're going to make the CMC. We collect the next one, and it's going to be math symbols. So it can be equal to, less than, greater than, equal, or less than. Just depends what you want. So if I want cards that cost less than 3, then I'm going to do the CMC is less than, and you type a number, 3. You can put as many of these stats as you want to shorten your list. So if I want to see red cards that cost less than 3, I make sure I click red, and CMC is less than 3. And here it is. All of the cards that are legal in Standard Artisan are shown here that cost less than 3. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Oh yeah. So, if you want to find cards from a specific set, down here next to format is sets. So you can choose between set names or block names. If you click on it, a drop down will come down showing all of the sets that have been printed. So in this case, if I wanted to search up cards from Ikoria, cards from M21. These are normal expansions. I'm looking for the core sets. So I'm scrolling down for core sets and looking for M21. So I click this, and if I remember correctly, I clicked red. So now if I click search, it'll find all of the red cards in M21. And in this option, you can choose as many sets as you want. You can also choose blocks. So if I go to X this out and go to block, it will show all of the different blocks. But blocks aren't really relevant in here because those only apply to older sets. So don't worry. It's the sets that you're picking. So again, click on the top where it says choose a set name. Click the one you want, Throne of Eldraine. And you can keep doing this. You can put as many sets as you want. Yeah, so if I want to only look at Throne of Eldraine and Theros cards, choose that, and then it will give me all of the Throne of Eldraine and Theros cards that are legal in Standard Artisan. But yeah, I think that is all we need to start searching up cards. In the next video, I'm gonna show you guys one of the easiest methods to build decks. So make sure you look out for that video. This is Eric signing off, and peace.